Well, hello everybody, and hope everybody's safe. Everyone's not under arrest for going outside, not being ticketed for social distancing. If you're in the blue state, yeah, you're probably living in 1984. Big brother watching you, neighbors turning each other in. At least here in Texas, I don't have to worry about that. I can go out and walk, you know, go to stores. And of course, there's this thing about masks where go ahead and get to the cigar. Yeah, today I'll be smoking Monte by Montecristo, and a lady calling her cat. And Montecristo is made by AJ Fernandez. I'm taking this big old. Some ladies are out calling her cat. Yep, and I've refilled the fuel on my cigar triple torch pyramid. What the? Yeah, damn bugs. Yeah, and as I mentioned in the other video, I am about one video behind uploading. It is 11mm punch. Now don't be a mask snob. If someone's not wearing a mask, especially now that we're in the warmer weather, we're talking across the U.S. we're in 80, 90 degree weather. Sunshine every day. Nice smooth draw, but it's not burning cleanly. Heck was that? Sounded like somebody dropped like a bunch of tools or something. Let me touch it up here. So I'm fine if a store says, hey, if you want to come shop in our store, you must wear a mask. I'm fine with that. I'm not fine with governments saying you must wear a mask when you go outside. California. And also social distancing. Again, when we go walking at the park, we see people walking, right next to each other. We see people sitting at the park bench next to each other. Again, like I said, it's past time, and if you're stuck in blue states, well, that's on you. And of course, there's all this talk of course, the big one, Joe Rogan, coming out saying he, and of course Tesla, Mr. Elon Musk himself, the liberal, let's call that, one of the liberal elites, basically what he is. And he's talking about, because Governor Newsom wants to keep California pretty much locked down, indefinitely. He's like, I want to move out of Texas. I'm not out of Texas. Freudian slip. I don't want him to move to Texas, but I want to move out of California. And I'm thinking he's going to move here to Texas. My thing is, hey, just go up a little bit further north, move into Oregon, Washington, where your liberal buddies are. They got my Diet Dr. Pepper. Same thing with Joe Rogan. Stay in California, or if you're going to move out of California, go to Oregon, go to Washington. Go to New York or the Northeast, Philadelphia, New York. Heck, even the northern Midwest, I guess, Chicago. It's not burning towards the top here. And yeah, these the higher the higher the number of burners you go, of course, the faster it's going to burn through fuel. This one was surprisingly pretty good on fuel. If you put it to the notch that they recommend, because there is a notch right here, there's an arrow on the I guess on the knob for the volume, and I guess I guess that's a suggestion they suggest you put your lighter on, and that's what I have it on, and it's burning. It's burning pretty nice. So first, I guess I'm going to talk about is sake. And yeah, I've been drinking sake for a while. The first sake that I bought, of course, the cheap sake, which is the I think it's Geikiku. It's the name. It's the one that comes in the green bottle and has all of that fancy looking label on it. And from what I've read, I'm drinking is Nagori sake, and it's the one you've probably seen at the if you've been to the liquor store, you've probably seen it. It's the one that's in the pink bottle. It is the Sayuri it is made in Japan. It is the Sayuri. I guess the house that makes is a Sayuri, Sayuri. It tastes a little bit different from the made in American Nagori that I've been drinking. It's still sweet, but it has a slightly different taste. And to me, so far, all of the sake that I've been tasting, now that I've gotten kind of trying sake again, because again, from what I've read, the cheaper sake, to me, cheap sake is anything that's under $10. The recommendation is to drink cheap sake warm, and by warm, and again, from what I've read, if you do warm your sake, do not warm it to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That is warm. I guess just get your water boiling, put your sake bottle in. Yeah, I got my sake bottle and then bother bringing it out. I feel like bringing extra stuff out. And just leave it in there for about a minute, and then enjoy. Now, I'm not a fan of warm sake myself. I prefer room temperature and chilled sake. And yeah, this is chilled because I've already opened up the bottle. Normally, what I do is when I first buy it, I'll stick it. I'll stick it on the outside. I'll leave it outside when I first buy pretty much any alcohol, including wine. I'll leave it outside until I open the bottle, get my first, a glass of wine or a cup of sake. Then I will put it in the refrigerator. So basically, the first cup will be room temperature cup. Or you can bring the sake out, pour it, and just stick it in the microwave for maybe. Make sure you get a sake bottle, that is, or sake cup. Yeah, because some porcelain are not microwave friendly. Those that are not microwave friendly, they will begin to chip or crack. So make sure you get porcelain that is microwave friendly, and just stick it in the microwave for about 10-20 seconds, and that will bring it to room temperature. Yeah, you don't have to worry about bringing out the raining. No, that's actually frogs out here. Yeah, it rained all day yesterday and the day before. So, yeah. So if you don't feel like bringing out your kettle or bringing out your small pot and warming up, the water and then sticking your bottle in there, just stick it in the microwave for about 10-20 seconds. That will bring your sake to room temperature. If you don't want to drink it chilled, if you prefer it room temperature. And of course, warm. And then if you want it warm, then I guess you gotta, put it in there for at least a minute or so. But again, I'm not a fan of warm sake. There's about 5 types of sake. I think there's Junmai, Rojo, I think is one type, and then there's Junmai, and then there's like a mixture. Basically, the on my anime channel, I uploaded a video where the character, where they kind of described the different types of sake. Just basically means the how much of the sake is made from a specific sake rice. The rice is supposedly the rice grain is bigger than your average rice grain, And what the sake maker will do is they will grind the rice grain down close to the nucleus, where I guess is where sake, the nucleus of the rice is where sake gets its flavor from. So depending on how much percentage of the rice gets ground off is what each type of a sake is. And I could look it up. I have my tablet out here, but so as for and of course modern day that they again I guess sake aficionados for modern day they only recommend warming cheap sake if you buy like a a $20 bottle, a $15 bottle, $20-$30 bottle. If you warm it, supposedly it kills some of the taste. So that's why they recommend not warming it. Yeah, that one it tastes, to me, the Nagori tastes sweet, very ricey flavor, because there's rice fragments that hasn't been filtered out. So yeah, you're going to taste rice. Now back in the old day, from what I've read, because I was like, okay, so why did they warm sake in the old day? What I've been told is that in the old days, or actually up until like maybe 50, 60 years ago, sake were actually kept in cedar barrels. So if you watch any samurai movie, especially if you watch Satoichi, the Blind Swordsman, a lot of times you see the guy bring out this barrel, and this barrel of sake, and they crack the top normally for celebratory. And yes, and they do still sell sake that has been stored in a cedar barrels, and I want to try it just to see, but from reading the description, to say it tastes very, very cedar-ish, because it's been stored in cedar barrels. You see the guy smash the top of the barrel, and there's and each of them are taking a ladle and getting some sake out of it. And yeah, that is the cedar barrels that sakes were in the old days. And the reason they warmed it was to cut some of the sting of the cedar out of the yes. And cedar, if you never smelled cedar is a very strong type of wood. Is very oily. So if you're storing alcohol, in and I guess Japan must have a lot of cedar. Here in the U.S., of course, we have oak barrel aged whiskey, and a lot of times and it's on YouTube. You'll have the guy, they'll assemble the barrel, and then they'll I guess burn the inside of the barrel. But you think, the Japanese didn't do that. Their barrels, their sake barrels were not toasted. Unlike the oak barrels here in the U.S. that a lot of the whiskeys are aged in. And also, that's what gives the whiskey the brown. And of course, some cheaper whiskey will actually put coloring, caramel coloring, into the whiskey to give it that brown look. But whiskey like Jack Daniel and stuff, those guys really age their whiskey in oak barrels that has been toasted or slightly put through the ring of fire. Yeah, so I read that. Okay, that's why in the old days, because what I explained was that if you warm like the more expensive sake, you're actually, yeah. And of course the reason why they recommend drinking cheap sake warm is because cheap sake tastes like crap. And the one that I mentioned, the gikaku, or it's not bukkake. That's a different thing. Yes, that sake was like the first one I bought, because it's cheap. It's like $5.99 for a 750 milliliter bottle. So So I was like, yeah, sake tastes like crap, man. What's it? And of course, now that I bought like more expensive, you know, not premium sake, but mine is more like the mid grade. The stuff that I stick to is like more like the mid grades, and not the premium sake, the one that costs more than 50, 30 to $50 plus, or the $100 plus sake. That would be like super premium sake. I stick to the 15 to $20 range, maybe 25 every now and then. So yes, so if you're like, hey man, I haven't tried sake, do not buy the cheap sake. It tastes like crap, and you'll be like, oh man, sake tastes like crap. Who the heck drinks this stuff? Go ahead and pay a little extra bucks, pay the $20 or the $15, and get an actual, at least higher grade. It's not premium, but it's higher grade sake. And then you'll thank yourself when you drink. It's like, okay, this actually tastes better. The cheap sake that I got, that Keikaku, I forgot the spelling, but when it smelled horrible. It smelled to me. It smelled and tastes like when my parents had when I was younger, we had that the Chinese restaurant. We actually would soak rice, and if you're a Westerner and you don't normally soak rice before you cook it, and also what you do is if you're gonna make noodles, this is how you make noodle, at least rice noodles. You soak the rice for about 2 to 3 days to the point where it's beginning to ferment. Then after that, you take the rice out, you grind it up, you mix it in some water. But anyways, what the cheap sake smelled like was the rice sitting and getting to the point to where it's firm, to where it's going to ferment, and it smells kind of rotten. That's what it smelled and tasted. I was like, oh man, I drank like half of the bottle and threw it away. I was like, okay, I can't take this, man. It's like drinking rotten fermented rice water, and that might be what it is. And yes, they do put yeast in sake, and from what I've read, sake doesn't have any preservatives in it, unlike some wines. There's no sulfate or preservatives. It's supposedly, once it's been bottled and sent to the store, it supposedly have like a 6-month shelf life, and if you do buy your sake, look and see if you can find a bottled date. I've looked, and so far I've not, at least the sake bottles that I've bought, I've not found a bottled date. Because in Japan, yeah, you're probably okay in Japan, but here in the U.S., because it's especially if the bottle came from Japan, it might be like a month or two, across the ocean on some cargo ship until it gets to a warehouse. From the warehouse goes to the shelf, so you got at least about 2 months to where it's sitting in a cargo ship somewhere. That's sitting in a warehouse where it gets to the shelf where you can buy it. And from what I've read, if you look, what you want to do is look at the bottom of the sake bottle and see if there's any particles. And if you do see particles, that means that sake bottle is pretty much expired. Now, not if you buy a Nagori sake, because with Nagori sake, you're going to see particles at the bottom. That's rice. Yeah, so definitely check out, get yourself some sake. It's to me, it's kind of like in between beer and wine. It's because there is the soju, which Koreans and Japanese both drink. It's basically rice beer, and it is cheap. You can get like a big, 40 ounce. I really couldn't find any soju here. At least I'll look. I saw it before at the liquor store. Didn't buy it. But soju over in Japan and Korea is basically very cheap. You can get a big 32 ounce bottle of soju or a 6-pack for like less than $5. And in some cases, $3. I guess if you go for the cheap stuff, so yeah, so that would be like rice beer, I guess. And then you also have plum wine, which is made from, I'm assuming made from plum with maybe some sake mixed in with it. Not a fan of plum wine. My wife is, but not me. I'll stick to sake. I guess you'll stick to plum wine. But yeah, definitely check it out. Give it a try. If you're not an alcohol drinker, then yeah, don't bother. All right, so I guess a few more topics to go over before I close the video out. Of course, in the news they're talking about they keep saying we're close to a vaccine. Now they're saying in the UK that they're getting a vaccine out. The thing is, of course, over in the UK and EU, they're going to have forced vaccination to where it's by law. What, they'll drag you out of your house, CCP Chinese style. They'll drag you out of your house, either throw you in jail or take you to the clinic to get your CCP virus vaccination. Here in the U.S., no. If they make it, I can see if you're a healthcare worker or if you're a 70-year-old person who has a existing condition, which most 70-year-olds do, I can see you getting the vaccine. But if you're under, I would say under 50 or even under 60, because the thing with the flu is there's like what 10 to 20 different strains of the flu virus, if not more. And each year, what the the companies that makes the flu vaccine, they'll guess like, okay, last year we had strain A and B, that was the most, that infected the most people. This year it might be strain G and H, so we're going to make a vaccine for strain G and H. And of course, if they screw up, then all the people who take the flu vaccine are not protected, because if it's strain A and B that's still out infecting people, the vaccine that you put out is for strains G and H, then that's not going to work. And if you think about it, vaccines work. It worked for polio, smallpox, tuberculosis. Those smallpox, polio, tuberculosis is pretty much eradicated because of vaccines. So vaccines do work. The question is, why do we still have flu every year? So the question is, does the flu vaccine actually work? Because natural immunity is that if you get the flu, once you recover from the flu, you pretty much have a natural immunity, at least for a year. So if you get it in November, technically you'll have flu immunity again for at least until October, November of next year. So you got to ask, what is in the flu vaccine? I know that there's about 20 plus or so strain of the flu virus. So that is asking a bit much of the vaccines. Like, hey, can you get a vaccine that will cure all 20 different flu strain? But you still gotta ask. It's money. That's the reason why we have to keep they keep coming up with flu vaccine every year. Is because money. Because because back in the day when polio, smallpox, tuberculosis vaccine came out, those scientists, those doctors and scientists actually wanted to cure diseases. They didn't care. They didn't care about money. Yeah, and back then we didn't have big pharma. Now we got big pharma. So the same thing with coronavirus. If this vaccine comes out, it's like, okay, people get vaccinated, it should eradicate coronavirus. But that's not what they're saying. Is like, hey, you're gonna have to get revaccinated every year for coronavirus. Which tells me that now the vaccination isn't actually a vaccination for coronavirus. Because again, if you look at smallpox, polio, tuberculosis. Yes, we do have every now and then someone comes down with TB. That's normally if they go to a third world country or something, catch it there and bring it back to the U.S. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to tell me, hey, again, this vaccine will eradicate coronavirus, we ain't got to worry about it. Everyone, get your shot. Let's get rid of coronavirus. Yes, but they're coming out saying, no, you're going to have to get revaccinated every year, which tells me again, they're not looking to eradicate. They're just looking to get money out of your pocket. Now I know some of you are thinking, hey, there are clinics every year or places every year where you can go and get free flu shots. Yes, there is, but again, it's not free. Yeah, you're giving something up for that flu shot. And no, I'm not worried about getting coronavirus infection. And once again, there was some I guess there was some test that they ran in New York for the coronavirus. What is that? Where someone gets infected and they have a they have the signature in their blood. That's a scientific name for it. But they tested people in New York, and it came out that about 13% of the people they tested show the coronavirus in their system. So basically, of course, if you do the math, it comes out to 0.65, which again is the same as the flu. And kind of like I was mentioned, that most of us probably already had coronavirus. We got a little sick. A week or two later, we got better. Some people may have gotten really, really sick, then gotten better, and of course, some people passed away from it. May they rest in peace. But yeah, most of us who got sick, we probably have the coronavirus. What's that word I'm trying to think of? It's kind of like when you got the flu, and then you're immune for the next year of the flu. So, anyways, yeah. So in the U.S., there should not be any forced vaccination. It should be up to you if you want to get the flu shot, if you want to get the coronavirus shot, because there's some of us who don't need it. All right, and insects. I got to talking to a buddy about insects, because he was talking about, hey man, you see all these videos about these chefs trying to cook these insect recipes. We got to talking. I was like, well, Asians have been eating insects for thousands of years, or more specifically, at least the last couple of hundred years when history was being kept. Yeah, normally and of course it was normally eaten by like the peasants, the kings and queens and the courts. They got the good meat. They got the pork and the chicken, fish. Yeah, peasants ate fish too, because fish is in the river. You can fish it out, but a lot of times they will add insects to their diet. So in Asia, and I explained to them, in Asia we have specific insect dishes, and we also have a specific dish where insects are added as like a garnish, or added into like a main dish, like a soup or a stir fry, where it has other meats including insects. But in the West, since in the West really don't eat insects, then you got these people, including these chefs, who are trying to incorporate insects into already established food that's in the West. Now, one, I'm not eating, I'm not eating no insect burger. I'm not eating no insect topping pizza. I'm not eating no spaghetti with insect meatballs. So in the West, if people or chefs are going to try to introduce insects, then they need to come up with specific insect dishes, kind of like in Asia, which has been around for hundreds of years, where it's a specific insect dish. And no, not everybody in Asia eats insect, and I don't see anything wrong with it. No, of course, if you're trying to force people to change their diet, vegans, then that's wrong. But I see no problem with people or chef who are trying to come up with new dishes. If, they try to incorporate. Like I said, I'm not eating you know insect patty burger, no insect topping pizza or spaghetti with insect meatballs. But if they come up with a specific insect dish, I wouldn't mind trying. But again, some people won't even try it at all, and that's fine. If you don't want to try it, that's fine. No one's forcing you. Again, vegans. And no, I don't like those chocolate-covered insects that taste like crap. The insect, hard candy-covered insects, yeah, that sucks too. I don't like that either. So far, all the crap that they try to put insects in tastes like crap here in the West. I remember a buddy ordered a can of it was a can of grasshopper candy or something like that. He's like, "Hey man, you want to try this?" I'm like, "Yeah man, let's give it a try." Yeah, we threw it away. I was like, "Man, this tastes like shit." Whoever made this needs their ass kicked. Okay, and last, it looks like Trump has finally kicked Dr. Fauci off of his coronavirus team. Because at first I was caught on the fence with Dr. Fauci. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's good. That's good that he doesn't agree with everything Trump says. You don't need a yes man on your team. But then you start looking at it, okay, this guy's just disagreeing with everything Trump is saying. What's going on? Does he have ulterior motives? And it turns out, yes, the guy had ulterior motives. That now we found out he's actually an investor in the Wuhan labs, and we're not sure that his investment is in that lab where the virus came out of, but he's invested in laboratories in Wuhan. Yeah, so he definitely has a conflict of interest. And I'm glad Trump is finally kicking him off his coronavirus task force. And now that is if I read the news correctly. Of course, he came down with coronavirus. That's why you haven't seen him in the news briefings that Trump's doing every day. And I don't watch him every day. I'll try to catch it like once or twice a week. And that's why he's missing, because supposedly he's in self-quarantine. So Trump's finally like, okay, man, you're off, dude. You got too much conflict of interest. And, oh, well, that's it. Okay, well, that's it for this video. Again, if you got your cigar, Montecristo aren't bad. Montecristo are the higher end premium cigars, and yeah, this one is a strong cigar. It's not a mild cigar. Well, it's listed as a strong cigar, but I'm smoking it and I don't taste any. To me, it doesn't taste like a strong cigar. It does have a darker wrapper. It definitely has the aroma of a strong cigar, but it doesn't really have the taste of a strong cigar. And I know and also the taste of cigar can also be what you had for dinner. So and also what you're drinking. So I don't know, maybe the sweetness from the Dr. Pepper, from the Nagori is affecting my taste. And that can also be the reason why some of the older dudes who sits down and smoke a Churchill, like a Maduro Churchill, no water, no whiskey, nothing on the side, they just smoke it straight. Maybe because they want to enjoy the taste. Because if you drink something, it does alter the taste of your cigar. Yeah, I'm inhale the smoke. Yeah, if you're there are some smokers, cigar smokers, who will inhale the smoke, and it's not recommended, but there are some dudes, some tough mofos, I guess, that will inhale the smoke. And I'll close on this PSA. White folks, be careful while you're out right now, because you got some crazy black folks who are in this I gotta get revenge for Arbery. There was the case of the two old white folks who were literally hunted when they went to go see their son's grave at the cemetery and were shot down like animals by this black man. And of course, people are saying, "Oh, you can't compare that to the Arbery case because in that case, the police, chased him down, shot and killed him. To where in the Arbery case, the police let the guy go." I was like, that is, and of course, if you try to explain it, it's like that is the very example we're using. These two old couple, because this guy sat out in the woods next to the cemetery and he waited for the perfect chance, and when his prey, when his victim showed up, he shot and killed them like animals. So this one is a perfect example of somebody hunting someone, and also there's a couple of videos out where I guess a man was stabbed at a gas station. Another one where a man was sucker punched, and of course you got the video of that poor little old Asian lady kicked in the face by the teen. So yeah, so right now, be careful while you're out. If you're at the gas station, have your head on a swivel. I would say not every black person's out to get you, but have your head on a swivel. You may have that one crazy guy that's like, revenge for Arbery, and you might get shot or stabbed, and for something that you had nothing to do with, just because the color of your skin. Oh, well, that's it. Thank you guys, and be safe. Don't worry about coronavirus. We're done. There was somebody here. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you guys.